Hi, everyone. It's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions MC and producer. And welcome to the April 2022 edition of Team Rayceen Forum. And we have some fabulous guests with us today. So, right now, I want to have them all come in with us at this time because, of course, today I'm joined by my special panelist, the one, the only, the goddess of DC, the one and only Rayceen Penn Darvin. Hello, Rayceen.
Hello, my loves. Ow! Greetings and salutations. Oh, Miss
Thank
Devin is
you.
feeling very gay.
Yes, yes, yes. We are feeling it. We are feeling it. And we have some fabulous, amazing, beautiful guests here with us today. Each month on first Tuesdays, we all get together and I'll moderate a discussion, a little kiki sesh, if you will, about current events and pop culture here on the Team Racing YouTube channel. So this month, I am joined by these lovely guests, and I'm going to give them all an opportunity to introduce themselves. So I'll start off first with Amy Sandman.
Hi, I'm Amy Sedman. I'm the director of Story District. We tell stories. We teach people like you how to tell stories, and we put them on stage, just like we just did a show at the Kennedy Center.
Yes, awesome. Gina.
Hi, I'm Gina Nicole Brown, and I am a performing artist, an actor, stand-up comic, a few different things, and have been a part of Team Racing for a while.
Fabulous. And of course, Devin, thanks for joining us.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so sorry about that. I thought it was an earthquake in California for a second. But my name is Devin. I'm a recording artist, singer, songwriter, and overall entertainer living by coastal Louisiana, Los Angeles, and Florida.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Well, it is such a pleasure to have you all with me here today. Let's do some screenshots to capture the moment. So everyone ready? 3, 2, 1. And another 3, 2, 1. Ooh, fabulous. All right, now let's get into the discussion with some recent headlines compiled by our producer, Czar. So, it's award season. So, of course, we've got to get into all the awards tea, all the drama, all that what happened, and what we think about the winners and the losers of the night. So the Oscars and the Grammy Awards happened. What are everyone's thoughts on that? Did anyone see the Grammys this week? And what were your thoughts on the Oscars last week? Devin, let's go with you first.
Alrighty, so I definitely saw both. I think there's few people in the world who have not really seen or heard about the artist for a multitude of reasons. But overall, I thought both presentations, both award shows, they really were a breath of fresh air after coming off of years of no real in-person award shows like that. It was really refreshing to see the people come back together and just put full shows together. I am a recording artist, so although I loved all the music at the Oscars, I really loved the music and the performances at the Grammys. I thought they were just so fitting. I thought and with the Oscars a week prior, that Grammys had to really step it up and make up for that all of that awkward tension that surfaced at the Oscars. But they were both two great awards, and I give kudos to everybody who won, everybody who was nominated, and all of the above who just made our entertainment world better.
Fabulous. I love that. Amy, what's your take on it all?
Oh man, I don't have a strong take, though I am always glad when women get opportunities. So I love that these three awesome women got to host. And I don't really have a lot more to say, though I have been completely deep into the slap.
Yeah, the slap heard around the world. Yeah. I have a few thoughts on that, but I'll save till I've gotten through everyone. Gina, what about you?
Yeah, oddly, being an actor and a comic, I don't love award shows, so I don't really watch them so much. And in terms of the Grammys, like I don't know a lot of the current artists. So, if it was Prince and Michael Jackson, I'd be watching, right?
Yes.
But as far as the the Oscars were concerned, I was really very happy that Quest was able to get something. So there were definitely, I mean, so while I don't watch them live, I'm active in other areas, so I've seen many clips and everything. And I too have opinions that especially as somebody who performs on stage, I certainly have opinions, but I will keep them to myself.
I want to chime in for just a second because you brought up Prince, and there's this video of him as a child that just see that?
Yeah, I did. It was awesome.
Oh my God.
That was wild, right?
Yes, such a treat, kind of.
Right. Rayceen, what's your take on all this award show drama?
Y'all being so nice and kind. I'ma just say how I feel, child. I watch both. I love the Grammys. But I wish the Grammys would really spotlight live, like the jazz and a lot of those artists that they do prior, because I really love those artists and I don't really feel like it. I love it. I think it's a great award show, but I feel like I wish they would showcase just more different levels of music, and because there are people who are over 40, and if you're over really 40, you can't really rock with the Grammys, because the Grammys is really geared towards a really under 30 crowd, or and it's really kind of sad for someone who's an AARP member such as myself, child. I know who they are, but most of my friends be like, who is this? Who is this, child? We be all in Shady Pines trying to figure out everybody, and I be sitting there and go, oh, that's Megan Thee Stallion, honey. That's everything.
Yes, girl, because you're the hip one. You're the hip one in the group.
I'm the hip one in Shady Pines, because I know who Megan Thee Stallion is. I know who Sweetie is. I know who Donna Lula is. I know all, so I'm hip, child.
The girls. I know the girls.
But I'm really happy for John Batiste. I'm really happy for Jasmine Sullivan. I'm really happy with Questlove won an Oscar and a Grammy for Some of Soul, which was one of the most incredible, wonderful pieces of work that will last forever. And I think one of the touching moments at the Oscars was with Liza Minnelli and Lady Gaga. That just brought so much to my heart. It made me cry. And I feel like the ramifications after that incident that occurred on stage, my heart goes out to Chris. My heart goes out to Will. I feel like they need a healing. I feel like I need to call Ayanna, and I need to call Oprah, and I need to have them both sit down, and I need healing to take place, because that's what I want to see. I want to see them work on healing because of what happened to someone who got slapped and someone who did the slapping, and the pain that is because there's a lot of pain on both sides. So people are hurting, and I want them to heal.
Certainly.
And wasn't that the wonderful way to say it? I really like
I love it. Yes.
Wasn't that PR? Because, honey, we were sitting home with glasses of wine.
Yes, I love it. And we're going to move on to the next thing. But I just want to throw my 2 cents in to say, despite all the things that everyone has said about the whole thing, for years, the Oscars have been trying to get people to come back and watch live TV. Live TV is way, way down. The girls are not coming to do it again. They've all, been trying to find a way to get everyone back. Because at the end of the day, celebrities before used to be, very separated away from the rest of us. The only time to see movie stars together was at the Oscars, everybody getting together. That's why it was so big. Everybody wanted to watch to see what would happen next, But now with social media, they're much closer to us now, in that way than ever before. You always have access to them. And so the Oscars, stopped becoming appointment television. But baby, if you were not in the room watching live and you heard about it afterwards, you wanted to be one of the because I remember watching it live. I'll never forget it to this day. It's now become an iconic moment, And so look at them still being able to create a moment, whether it was unfortunate or not. So that's my 2 cents on the whole situation.
Is that your I know where I was on 9/11. I know
very that. Where were you during the slap?
During the
all right. Speaking of great, grand, awesome things. kind of ending or whatever. Maury will end after 30 years on television. What's your thoughts on that? It's a staple of 90s daytime television, rocked it out during the early 2000s, and then, a decline during the 2010s. And now we're in the 2020s and they've come to a rest. What does anyone want to say about the legacy of Maury and shows like Maury? Go ahead, Amy.
They had a good run. Think about it. At the time it was about shock value. It was all this Jerry Springer, Maury, it was all that, transsexuals who are pregnant. It was all this kind of stuff.
Bury that.
Transsexuals from the moon. It was like all this channel. It was all this shock TV. And they had a good run.
Yeah. Certainly. Amy, anything to add?
Well, I was just going to add that my boyfriend was on Maury in, yeah.
OMG! He's a little celebrity. I love that.
So he got the call. He was in college and he was told, hey, you have a secret crush. And he got flown up to New York and he did the whole thing. He does this whole story about it on the Story District stage, actually.
Oh,
and when he gets there, it's like, and he's like, ooh, who could it be? This person, that person. He's like, I got game. And then gets there and it's a woman it's a friend of his. He knows she had a crush and she, and he'd already told her, hey, this isn't going to work. But it turns out she didn't know she was going on there either. Or she didn't know what it was for either. It was her mom.
Oh, wow.
Her mom brought them both on.
The drama. There you go, America. There you go, America. This is the kind of drama and beauty that the Maury Show has brought into our homes for 30 years. For 30 years. And it will be sorely missed. Maury Povich, you are an icon in the industry. And thank you for your work over the years in creating something new and something different and something fresh that we'll remember even when it's done. So thank you for that. Now let's move on. Let's go to let's talk about a few things a little bit more serious. This is our little political section. And of course, the Supreme Court confirmation hearings for Ketanji Jackson Brown, happened. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on it, thoughts on getting a new Supreme Court justice, what this means for the country. How do you feel about it? And what you're looking forward to, with someone new stepping in. I'll start with you, Gina.
Oh gosh, we sorely need freshness, right? It isn't just that she's a woman. It is everything she represents that don't just have to do with her physical appearance. She is full of substance. She's everything that you would think the highest court in the land should have, and it doesn't. All of its members can't even attempt to compete. But yeah, and it's I think for the hearings, I was very moved by Cory Booker, as I'm sure so many people were, but he put into words what those of us just watching wanted to say, like jump through the screen and wanted to say and like shake people. And I'm so glad that, if for no other reason, that those words were uttered, even if they went over people's heads or, slapped them in the face and just kept it moving. Yeah.
Certainly. Devin, what about you? Any thoughts on this?
Yes, I definitely really, as Gina was mentioning, I really drew inspiration from Cory Booker's speech, and that he was saying nobody is going to take this joy of this moment. For me, being someone who was not very involved in politics, especially in my youth and really growing up, I really got involved, let's be honest, in about 2010. And that's when I really got a strong grasp on, okay, who's in charge of our country? What is going on? What is all of this? And when I did really take a second to step back and like reflect on all of it, I did not see myself in a lot of the world, even though we had just come out of having a president. I did not see myself in a lot of politics. So it's nice now and refreshing to that people of all colors, all creeds, everything are really rising to the top. And I think Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is going to really set the stage for a whole generation of younger Black female entrepreneurs and politicians to really step forward and say, I can do this, I can be here. Look at Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. So I'm ready about the whole situation.
Certainly, certainly. Thanks for sharing. Rayceen, any thoughts on this?
It is trailblazing, groundbreaking. It's part of history. It'll be something written in the books forever. And little brown girls all across the world can say, that can be me.
It's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see. Now we move on.
Can I
from
chime
one...
in for a second?
Oh, of course, Amy. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, she did an amazing job of handling dumbass questions. And my favorite, I have a favorite moment. And my favorite moment was when someone asked her, you know, can you define what a woman is? And she just was like, no. She didn't even try to be like, she was just like, no.
Like, girl.
So great. So great.
Very that, yes. We love her, we love her, we love her. And from one fabulous woman to another woman. Let's talk about Ginny Thomas, wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas and former cult member who's now, you know, left one cult for another. She's replaced it. And now it's been revealed that she has tried to have the government overthrown. She was able to just walk into the White House and give the girls what the girls should be getting, and it was just coming from her. What are the thoughts on all of this going on in our government at the highest level of power? Gina, tell me a little bit about that. How do you feel?
It's painful to watch. Yeah, I don't, I wish we didn't need to give her air coverage. It bothers me that we elevate people that don't warrant it. They don't deserve it. And I'm embarrassed that Clarence Thomas has her as a wife. And she's not worthy of a lot of words from me. It's for me, it's just embarrassing. And there's nothing that she has said to date that I can take to the bank. Can't do anything with the words that come out of her mouth. I just can't.
Very that. Amy, your take on this?
I mean, I guess this to me is another example of, is this a situation that we can do something about, or we just have to make a fuss and have no power?
Yeah, that's what's so crazy. Sometimes I'm like, aren't people like put in place to like, so we can do things about things like this? Like, how are we losing the plot? Like, you know, yeah.
Like we keep coming up against things that bad behavior, ethical, questionable ethics, all these things, and we're just like, we didn't dream this one up.
Yeah.
So we don't have a plan, which means we don't have a course of action for consequences or prevention. So it's a little discouraging.
Well, one could say I guess we're in a new stage of this nation, or, you know, or of this society where, you know, there's a lot of things that we've already dealt with. I know we're just entering a new era of where people are doing different things and making different actions and doing things that are a little bit unprecedented. And there is just nothing that is set out. There's no protocol. There is no plan of action for how to tackle any of it. And we're just probably in a mode where we got to get that together. Like, you know, even with rising technology and everything that's going on, I don't even think we are legislatively prepared yet to tackle some of these things, and, you know, things, and we will, you know, I feel a lot of things will get lost if we don't.
Well, it seems like we're like, we'll investigate.
Yeah.
And then the investigation takes 18 months, and then it comes out with
nothing. It comes out with nothing.
The one thing I will say is that the youth it's very what's the word, enlightening that our youth is so connected with technology. So although they might not be as in the political side of things, they are going to continue these stories and be like, hey, what happened to this? And far along in the future, there will be an archive of this, and our future generations will be able to look back and be like, bad guys? Who are the good guys? Because although they're trying to erase history in a lot of facets, trust me, I live in Florida.
Mhm.
They just be able to. They'll never be able to erase true history.
Right.
Speaking of Florida, and this isn't even on our outline, but I want to talk about it because of the flag behind you. The Don't Say
Say
Gay.
gay.
You know,
Say
we
it.
are seeing just so much legislation coming, you know, really against queer people, against women, you know, very, very specifically too. And Florida is giving that, Texas is giving that. We're seeing it popping up all over. And I think it's such a wonderful and great thing to come out to with that flag behind you. Like, baby, we are saying gay. You know what I mean? I want to hear everyone's thoughts on that. Rayceen, actually, I'd like you to go.
Oh my
And
goodness. It
yeah.
makes me feel like I'm not in 2022. It makes me feel like I'm
Mm-hmm.
in 1822. I mean, it feels
Mm-hmm.
like, everything that we fight against, there is an undercurrent of folks who want to put people back in boxes and prisons and behind closed doors. And they just want people to not be their true authentic selves. When so many
Mm-hmm.
people have fought so long to be at the table, create the table, build the table, make
Mm-hmm.
the table, everything. And now you want to take the table away from us. And you can't
Mm-hmm.
do that. We've come too far. You can't do that. And people, this has to shake people up because for a long time, a lot of us, I always say, we get comfortable. We get comfortable when,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Mm-hmm.
sit in that space of being
Yep.
comfortable. We're like, oh, child, we
Mm-hmm.
don't have nothing to march for. We don't have nothing to do for this.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, girl,
Yep.
why we doing this? Oh, child, our
Uh-huh.
rights are here. We're queer. We're women. We're
Yep.
doing all that. But when you get that comfortable, the right wing comes
Mm-hmm.
start to attack,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
that's
if you're in a
bubbling over.
community that's already seen rights come and then go again, you're very sensitive to that. Like that can happen again. You know, we have to be vigilant because that's what they do. They do a little thing. And you know, it almost reminds me of, you know, this war and everything with Russia. You know, after the Soviet Union fell, you know, for years, especially in the early 2000s, they kind of took a backseat and no one kind of saw them as a threat or anything like that. And starting with 2016 and doing cyber things and now this war and everything like that, you just really have to be vigilant, you know. Devin, you're in Florida. Tell me how you feel about the whole thing and what it's like to see what, you know, your home state, I guess, doing when it comes to rollback on LGBTQ rights and freedoms.
Honestly, it's not even LGBTQ rights and freedom. It's trying to suppress Black history. It's trying to shut off so many avenues of different cultures. What I personally feel is that the people in power who are going to implement all these new rules and new laws, they are uncomfortable with the new America that we're going to have. We're going to have a more open and inclusive America, and they don't see themselves ruling it as they have for years and centuries before. So now they're uncomfortable and trying to say, oh, this is for the kids. The kids don't care. They have a whole bunch of avenues and outlets where they're going to learn about it either way. So if you can't
Yep.
provide a quality knowledge, give them a quality, education in school, then they're just going to learn about it from the internet. And y'all already mad at that. So I'm not gonna really. I have no time for what I call dumbass stances. I've been questioning whether I'm gonna say that because, but you know what? That's really personally how I feel, and I think, well, like I said previously, the youth are really going to take this country back, and they're going to let people know where they stand on it, and they're going to get in power. And there's 30-year-olds, 12-year-olds that are banking more than me and everybody all combined. So they're really going to take their platforms and their power, and they're going to rise us up into a better nation. And I wait to be over there in my little walker and everything, and all the children who have made this world like better and everything.
Yes, yes, the legendary children, darling. Legendary children.
Speaking
All
of
right,
children, Billy Porter's new song "Children" came out, and I watched
oh
the video for
yes,
it.
uh-huh.
It's great.
I love it. I love it. All right. So speaking of legends and icons and all of that, let's go to this month's in memoriam, where we bid farewell to a few people that have passed on. So we want to start with former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. Also actors Scooey Mitchell, Estelle Harris, and William Hurt. Musician Taylor Hawkins, singer Tracy Braxton, former WSA 9 news anchor Bruce Johnson, and the print edition of Washington City Paper. Now, would any of you like to speak about any of the dearly departed?
I really quickly would just like to say that for the whole Braxton family, my condolences go out. I know everything was so sudden. So I just really want to just throw out condolences to them and everybody else who has lost somebody this year, to come through 2 years of a pandemic and make it through that only to lose someone now. I know it can be especially hard. So my condolences to everybody who's lost someone.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Anyone else?
And I mean, it's so heartbreaking when you think of all these wonderful people. But when you think of somebody like Estelle Harris, she was 93 years old. She led a full amazing life. She a plethora of characters that will live on forever. And you know, even though we don't want people to leave us, but when they leave us with such an incredible body of work, you just say kudos and celebrate their life in a way that you say thank you. You know, and then when you think about the end of the print edition of the Washington City Paper, that to me it's heartbreaking too, because papers, I love reading. I'm an avid reader. I love the feel paper. I love to read things. I love holding things in my hand. And when you know those things are going away, it just feels like a part of your life
Yes.
And they are papers and journalists and news is so part of the storytellers of
yes,
who
it
we are.
is.
They're
Yes, it is.
storytellers
Yeah.
because they're part of keeping history alive. And when one leaves us, it really it's a part of something that will be forever gone.
Yeah, I agree, certainly. Well, we hold all these in our hearts and wish everyone condolences. So thanks so much for that. Now, switching to giving people their flowers while they're here, Rayceen and I had the honor of interviewing Gay Adegbalola in March. So this is us. This is me, Rayceen, Gay Adegbalola. Her album's next to her, you know, giving you just powerful, ethereal, iconic, legendary. That's what she was serving. Rayceen, what were you getting and what were you giving from the Gay Adegbalola interview?
Oh, I loved it. I loved her because, you know, to sit and be a fan of someone and to sit and to have a conversation with them, because I just thought the coming from uppity blues women, I mean, just how groundbreaking they are. You know, they bring you folk, jazz, blues, rock, everything. And they are all women and they're bad and they kick butt and they kick ass and they don't take no prisoners. And that's just how she is to me. She kicks ass. She's unapologetically Black, gay, free, all of those things. And she just walks in her, she's like a warrior woman. And I love her.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. We had a great time. And so if you go to our YouTube channel, if you're watching right now, to check that out, you can also check out our election 2022 playlist. Yes, we've been keeping abreast with other political candidates in local DC elections, local Maryland elections, local Virginia elections. And baby, we've gone national. We're interviewing them in California, in Minnesota, in Texas, in Florida, everywhere you can think. So if you want to keep abreast of our political candidates for 2022, go ahead and check out that election 2022 playlist. You can see the different candidates, see what they're giving, hear their platform, see what they're like, see if you like that person, you know, before you sign their name on the ballot. We are giving you that opportunity. You know, we have a mayoral race coming up in DC this year. So we have some with mayoral candidates as well. So you can check that out. And please just keep abreast of all the voting deadlines. Yes, keep abreast of all the voting deadlines. Don't get lost at the polls this year. Prepare right now. You know, if you don't prepare to fail, you fail to prepare. Or if you fail to prepare, you'll prepare to fail. That's how it goes. So please register to vote. Go to headcount.com, and check your registration status, pledge to vote, and register to vote. Now for our final topic, I want everyone to share one thing they have enjoyed in the past month. This can be a new book, film, TV series, music, website, restaurant, venue, service, all of that. So
Oh, I
let
got
me,
one. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I got it because I'll forget. I
beautiful. Go
must
ahead.
say, I've had the opportunity of watching many, many specials on television. But the
Hmm.
Jared Carmichael Rock
Oh, he came.
Angel
Oh, yeah.
special was brilliant, was bold,
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
funny, was
Hmm.
emotional. It was
Hmm.
what I sat and watched that and took that ride with that young man. And
Hmm.
he talked and hit so many topics. And I can just say
Hmm.
he's free today. And free people, free people. Brilliant.
Yes.
Nobody's never seen it. I must say you must see it. I want to, when I see him or meet him, I just want to hug him. That's how I feel.
Hmm.
He made me just want to hug him after.
Hmm.
I was a fan before, but I feel like I'm his mother love who I just need to hug my baby and love on him constantly.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Amy, what about you?
Oh, I couldn't think at the time, but I'm following a TikTok recess therapy.
Hmm.
That's my cheer me up. Have you seen this? It's just a guy who asks people, little kids, questions, and they're ridiculous and adorable. It cheers me up.
Love
Simple.
that. Love that. Well, everyone, check that out. Gina, what about you?
I really liked. So Dick Gregory has a nephew,
Hmm.
Mark Gregory, who is does stand up, and he has a bit of a long program that's on. It's both stand up and a little bit of chatting, a little docu, and it's on Prime, and I've really enjoyed it. And it's I think Run With It or Run To It. But
Hmm.
he references his uncle a lot, and he's very much like him, so you can sort of hear like a lot of Dick Gregory in and through him, and I really enjoyed it.
Love it. Devin.
Yeah, so as a recording artist, I am really loving all the new music that's coming out lately,
Mm-hmm.
and to really see artists really putting their all back into their music, their videos, their content, going back on tour. I really enjoyed Normani's new song "Fair," of which I talked about on my podcast. I just started a new podcast called
Mm-hmm.
"Just So You Know," podcast Unmuted, where we talk about all pop culture stuff. And one of our first artists that we talked about was Normani. I've been following her since her career with Fifth Harmony, and just watching her growth and development as a solo artist gives me inspiration. So shout out to Normani and her new song "Fair." If you haven't heard it yet, check it out. It's sexy.
Love it. And that love that we're on the topic of music, because my favorite thing of March was being able to check out some four beautiful DC songstresses. Rayceen and myself and Nikki, we went to four concerts this month. We had a wonderful time celebrating women, celebrating Women's History Month. We first saw Cecily at Blues Alley in the first week. Then in the second week, we saw Carly Harvey at Metro Bar. Then the third week, we saw Deborah Bond at City Winery. Then the final week, we saw Desiree Jordan at Mastras. And so we just had a really, really good time getting to support these wonderful women, hearing fabulous music, hearing local music, and, just being able to, chillax and lean into that. So that for me was really wonderful. It was great meeting, not even meeting, like just being able to see them in person. Because we've seen them so much like on here and through Zoom and all of that. It was just wonderful to be able to do that. So I hope that's something like we can continue to do, and everyone we kind of get to talk to here and see here. We get to go to a show and, really see them in their element and support them in that way. So that was one of my favorite things of the month. So, as we're getting down to the end, you know how we love to end a panel. We've got to do the shameless plugs. So, let's start with the shameless plugs. So, I'm going to start with Devin because I have this fabulous picture here that's right in the queue. So,
Ooh.
Devin, my love, what can
Ooh.
everyone expect from you? What can they look forward to? And how can they follow you and learn more?
All righty. Well, if you didn't know, I had a new song that came out. It's called Just So You Know, DGV Remix, and a correlating music video that came out,
Beautiful.
shot by Archangel Productions, that
Mhm.
I am very, very proud of. So that's out on all platforms right now, the song and the video as well. And then because of that, I also released a new podcast, the JSYK podcast, Unmuted, where we talk about everything that you just want to know. We keep it relevant, we keep it fun, kind of brunch themed. So definitely tune into that. And you can follow us at JSYK Podcast. And you can find me at Big Black Devin everywhere. That is my social media handle.
We love it. We love it.
Yes, please definitely follow my journey in music, download, stream, everything, and I will see you guys. Oh, I also have a show coming up. I completely forgot. That's why I'm out here in Los Angeles. I have a show coming up on April 9th. So just in a few days, and that will be a New Profanity. So you can find all the information of that on my social media.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Devin, I feel like I have an idea for you. I'll run that by you later. All right,
Okay.
Next up, thanks so much for being here, Devin. We always love having you here, so thank you for being here. Next, we have actor extraordinaire, the Gina Nicole Brown. I am such a fan. She is the first person I've ever met who was able to stare down at me from fucking Times Square. So for me, Gina is, I'll never forget that holiday, that Christmas. I was just walking in Times Square and that was Gina staring down at me. And since that day to this day, I have been a constant fan, almost a stan. So Gina, what can the girls expect from Miss Nicole Brown?
I need almost a stan. I need to get over the hump, right? Right. That's a fun picture that you have. That's I did a Getty photo shoot, and I'm in Getty Images. Like, you can pick me as your stock photo.
I love that.
And that's one of them, which is so funny. But right now, if you're interested, I am on a Netflix special. It's a limited series called The Principles of Pleasure. And it's all about women's pleasure, and they interview all types of women, and most of it is experts, but I am that's in New York. That's like at every bus stop in New York.
Yeah.
So if you look, The Principles of Pleasure is on Netflix now. I'm also in a sketch team in New York City, and we have a show. So I've written a sketch and I'll direct it, and others on the team, same thing. We have a show at the end of April. All of my stuff I put on Instagram. I mean, others too, but mostly Instagram at Gina Nicole Brown, like my full name, at Gina Nicole Brown. And I've got films coming up and stuff. I just post what I do. It's fine.
Awesome. Well, we love you, Gina. Thank you so much for being here with us. It's always a pleasure. And then I got my girl, Amy. What's going on, Amy?
Oh, we're going to have the third of 3 workshops at the Kennedy Center, and the first 2 have been so fun. These are free workshops to learn a little bit about storytelling. You'll swap stories with your peers, and I talk about different principles of how to tell a story well, particularly on stage for an audience. And so they're 90-minute free workshops at the Kennedy Center. You do have to register, and you have to show your vaccine. That you have a vaccine. Next one, the last one is April 26th, but that is leading up to our annual Pride show in partnership with Team Rayceen. So, wrong one, but that's okay. I'll talk about that in a second. That one, yes.
There we go.
Outspoken, we're in our 12th year. I'm so excited. We'll be at the Millennium Stage this year for the first time. And that is also going to be free. And we are accepting pitches through April 12th. Make sure you go on to storydistrict.org, and then you'll see Tell Your Story, or go to find your way to click on Pitch a Story, and we will consider your story. And if you get selected, then you'll have rehearsals and coaching. No matter how much experience you have, none or a lot, you still go through this whole process to get ready for the show. And there'll be 6 people in the show. It's all LGBTQIA plus. But our next show, now you can show that our next show is Sucker for Love, which is April 30th. We usually do it in February, but we bumped it to April. And all kinds of ways and takes on romance, love, relationships, and all of it. And these are our 2 LGBTQ reps for the cast.
Lovely, lovely. I
Robert
love
and
Sucker for
Tamar.
Love. Yes. I was so happy to be involved with Sucker for Love last year. It was fabulous. So I'm looking forward to this one. And speaking of love and being suckers for them, I'm happy to announce my play, Krylios' Leave the Door Open, which will
Woo!
be premiering May 14th and 15th at the Downtown Cultural Arts Center in Baltimore, Maryland. It's written by me, produced by me, directed by Barry Feinstein, co-produced with Nikki and Robert Garcia from Garcia's Black Box Theater. And we have much more exciting announcements to come up. I'll give everyone a tease here that for our pre-show will be hosted by the one, the only, the glamazon of them all, the goddess of DZ, Rayceen Pendarvis. So Rayceen Pendarvis will be hosting our pre-show. We are currently, reaching out to other artists or performers who would like to be involved on one of the days. So that could be the 14th or the 15th of May. So reach out to us, let us know. We are also still seeking community partners and sponsors. So if you know someone or know some people who would love to be involved with this exciting project when it comes to social media amplification, or could put a little bit of money in our pockets, to pay our actors and our performers and for props and stuff like that, please reach out to us and let us know. You can reach out to me on social media, and I'll get to that later, as well as via email, and tweet that you're excited to come here with hashtag Leave the Door Open Play. So go ahead and do that. And if you want to know what Leave the Door Open is about, this is the blurb. Let me just give it to the girls. With their marriage on the rocks, this May-December interracial romance comes to an almost screeching halt when Leon decides to move out. Amid a frightening encounter and a shocking betrayal, will love be enough to mend this broken home? Or will someone walk right out the door? See how it all turns out in this twisty tale of fear, fantasy, and freedom. So tickets are coming soon, everyone. Mark your calendars, May 14th and 15th. I hope to see you in Baltimore. For more information, you can follow me, Krylios, at It's Krylios on all forms of social media. And if you want to know more about Rayceen Pendarvis, make sure you go to Rayceen.com for all things Rayceen Pendarvis related. And finally, make sure that you are following Team Rayceen Productions on all forms of social media at Team Rayceen. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. But most of all, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.